Welcome to Heather's Healthcare Show. I'm Heather Himmelwright, and today we have Gigi with WTLC, and we're going to be discussing domestic violence in the workplace because I think it's an incredibly important topic that really is not discussed. So with that, Gigi, I just wanted to say thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We're really excited.
This is something that's close to my heart, so I just wanted to discuss it so we could make our employers aware of what to look for.
Absolutely.
And can you tell us a little bit about domestic violence in the workplace?
Sure. Domestic violence is something that's pervasive. So if you know that it's something that happens in all socioeconomics levels, all ethnicities, religions, etc., it's also all over the workplace. So if you work at Target or you work at Google, there's gonna be an impact there of some sort. And so one major way that it impacts the employer is the amount of time it takes away from productivity at work, and also the healthcare. So our families who are dealing with domestic violence end up off work more,
Sure.
Unpaid leave, medical issues, etc. And so when employers are able to have an open, honest communication about what's going on at home, it's hard because it's typically a taboo subject,
Very
right?
much so, yes.
In the home, it's taboo. In the community, it's taboo. And so in the workplace, we always think we can't get involved in someone's personal life.
Right.
Which is true and not true. If it's impacting your workplace, we need to have a conversation. So what we suggest is that employers have a policy. The stats show that over 21% of individuals in a workplace identify as having experienced domestic violence in their home or sexual assault. So if you think about that, that's a fifth of your employees, and that's only people who are saying that it's happening.
Right.
We know that 1 in 3 women and approximately 1 in 7 men are impacted by domestic violence. So that even compounds the issue.
Right.
So often you'll find a family where everything seems great, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing little issues arise. Someone's calling in sick every Friday or every Monday, or they're coming in and they're just not present in the day. So you don't have to be battered and beaten
Right.
to be a victim. So sometimes it's just that emotional toll that it takes on you, and it comes to work because that's the place you can breathe.
Right.
One of the families that we work with, that we've been working with for over a year, the reason she came to WTLC was her supervisor, new to the supervisory role, new to their organization. She's like, what's going on? She just asked that simple question. It seems like something's going on.
Right.
And this woman, Claudia, broke down and shared, it's just a lot. My husband's texting me 100 times a day, which is not normal. Claudia didn't even realize as much as this was impacting everything. But when that supervisor said to her, what's going on? How can I help you? That opened a door to her. And by the next day, she was at WTLC in our shelter.
Oh, wow.
And her children came along with her.
Oh, wow.
She was able to really change her life. And we just met with her a couple of weeks ago to talk about where she is now. And she just reported that had that employer, that supervisor not had that conversation, she would be in a very different place. And unfortunately, 3 nights after she moved her children out of that home, her spouse burnt the house down.
Oh my God.
So this is something that
Wow.
nurse, that employer had the confidence to just ask a question.
What's going on?
Exactly.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
And hopefully they're confident enough the employees are comfortable enough to say something.
Exactly.
And the employer, they know that the employer is going to be more supportive.
Exactly. The last thing you want to go on is gossip.
Yeah.
So you really want to find out if there is something going on. So I noted in my workplace, not at WTLC, but a previous one, we had an employee who was consistently calling out on a certain time of the month. And I was noticing, what is this about? And we knew the pattern in her household because the spouse was away and then would come back. And so we noted that these call outs were happening. And at first I thought, well, it must be just that they want to spend time together.
Yeah.
But then we started to notice a lot of different changes in this person. And so the conversation was just like, is everything okay? We're noting that you're out a lot. Mm-hmm. So it can be that generic and open. You're out. What's going on? Every employer has a right to ask that question.
Absolutely.
What's going on? You're out a lot. It's kind of past what your normal vacation, sick time is? What can we do? Is there something we can do here?
I mean, I can tell you that my employer groups and the HR staff, and I mean, I have good relationships with all of them, and I know that they are all very supportive and very, aware of what's going on with their population. Right. I mean, I'm involved in their benefits, which means I know all of their employees, and I know, I meet them all. So, I know that at least my employers, they have that supportive workplace, which is nice. And I want them to know that this is also available and that you guys are available, and spreading the word is really, really important.
Absolutely. And so what's really great about WTLC is that we come out to where people are.
That's awesome.
So we have a 24/7 hotline. For that hotline, you can just get assistance with, how might I do this? This is the first time I've ever had to talk to someone. I don't know what questions to ask. I don't know if I'm being judgmental, because we all sometimes are.
Yeah.
So what might I do? And my team will talk to you and say, hey, Heather, here's some ideas. How does that feel? What do you think? What would you ask? And then they'll walk you through some ideas.
I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a really good resource.
Absolutely.
Because it can be very uncomfortable to ask those questions and not know what to do when you get the answer.
Exactly.
What's the next step at that point?
Absolutely. And sometimes the next step is really just being there.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
No, it is. And I'm excited about your organization, what you guys are able to do. And I mean, it's just, to know the resources are out there is huge. It's
Absolutely.
just, so I appreciate you coming by
Absolutely.
and, discussing it with us. And so.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Anytime that we can support prevention efforts or just giving people information, that's key.
So thank you so much for joining me on the Heather's Healthcare Show, and thank you, Gigi, for joining us. It was great having her. And please feel free to click on the link below for more information. And thank you again for joining us.